Sundy, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you very much for having me.
I just want to learn from you as an advisor, what thoughts go into your mind, because you're taking the torch from 2011, bringing it 2013.
Right.
So you have to ramp it up and meet the expectations and scale beyond the expectations.
Right. So I was actually involved with a group of people in founding the IIT AGH, which stands for the IIT Alumni of Greater Houston, which can be considered as a chapter here in Houston, although it's a separate organization in its own right. It's a non-profit organization, fully registered as a 501c3 charity. And one of the things that we do is we teach math and science to high schools and middle schools here in Houston, so they get the benefit of our volunteers teaching in these high schools and the middle schools. And I'd like to believe that it's a direct result of the tremendous traction that we received with these activities, that we were actually awarded hosting of this Global Pan-IIT Conference, which is really a kind of a big deal because it's almost like the Olympics. You have to actually bid in order to get awarded hosting. Getting hosted to Houston for the first time. So to go back to your question of what goes on in your mind, that definitely plays in your mind in terms of it's the first ever time that you're hosting something. It's a debut deal, so you want to do that much better. One of our visions has always been and will continue to be the thrusting of India in a positive frame into mainstream America, which you will see reflected in the fact that we are an extremely inclusive conference, as the IIT AGH is a very inclusive organization. And the third thing, when we came up with our theme of inspiring innovations of tomorrow, these were not just fancy words or just an acronym of IIT, which it happens to be, but truly we wanted to do something for the next generation. So you will actually see at this conference the vast number of students that are around the conference, and we were so thrilled to be able to throw it open for 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students here in Houston, giving them the values of community hours, of course, but also something really cool and strong to put on their resumes when they apply to college, and the opportunity to engage with this phenomenal line of speakers that we have under our various steel threads. So these were some of the things that go on in your mind. There's a bit of trepidation, you know, in terms of can we pull it off? There's ups and downs, but today, looking at what we have achieved over the last day and what's coming up, extremely pleased, very happy, very proud to have showcased not only IIT and India in a strong vein, but also the wonderful city of Houston. It's equally important for us to showcase Houston in a good light.
Oh, so I want to ask you, when you were starting out, I'm sure there are a lot of challenges, but one challenge that really, stood out, and how did you overcome that?
So, as I always like to say, like life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, if you can boil things down into three. To host a good conference, you need speakers, you need people to listen to them, and you need money, right? But really, the answer of even getting these three goes to the first ever challenge, which is getting together the team from within the city to pull this off. So that was challenge number one.
No, I think the end result shows what effort has gone into it and the product that has come out eventually.
Right.
So congratulations very much on that. I want to shift focus on your professional career. Since you're from Houston, like almost every other person, part of the energy sector here.
Right.
And you have spent a better part of 3 decades, I'm assuming, mostly with Shlumberger. And you've been to many parts of the world, as you said, for different continents. When you look at the evolution of energy from fossil fuels to where it is heading now, and clean energy, etc., the industry itself has to readjust in every so many years.
Right.
Where do you see those challenges, of the industry as a whole, trying to keep up with the image of clean energy?
Okay. So this is also something that we attempted to address, in fact, with this conference as well. Looking at the third word of the theme, which is tomorrow, if you look at 2045, you're going to have a population of the world of approximately 9 billion is what's predicted, which is 1.5 times what it is today. And the energy needs are probably going to be double of what we have today, or at least 50%. So to address this, you have to have innovative technologies, not only in increasing the efficiency of the production of hydrocarbons as they are, but these aspects of what can be loosely clubbed under what you might call alternate forms of energy. But being an oil and gas guy, I tell you, even in the year 2045, I firmly believe, because of the demand aspect of the equation, oil and gas aspect of the energy business is here to stay and will still be thriving in 2045.
When you look at the emerging economy, right, the consciousness of clean energy is not as much, because it's a new economy, new money, so the focus is not as much on the next generation.
Right.
When companies like yours try to address these, when you work with other bigger clients, how do you prepare them that this generation is, yes, there's obvious ROI at stake, but going forward as an image building exercise for the next generation, what exercises do you put in place to address these?
Okay, so within most of the oil and gas companies here in Houston, I can quite confidently say, is that the policies that are adopted, the processes that are adopted in any one country or a particular project are absolutely no different from that adopted somewhere else. There are no changes taken from a point of view of making things easier just because it's a country that has, for want of a better word, laxer laws, if you like. We tend to keep the processes, the practices very consistent. The only rare area where they may be different is if that country's laws are even one level above what that particular company's processes and practices are in place. So from that aspect, slowly this, for want of a better word, without sounding pontifical about it, the right way of doing things is done from day one, and that slowly filters into some of these other economies that maybe are trying to get there.
Finally, the question to address here is the next generation of talent pool. Since the last couple of decades have been focused on IT,
right,
things related to hardcore IT. How do you prepare the next generation of talent pool for this particular industry?
The technology that's adopted in the energy industry has probably, in my mind, got to be on par with, or maybe second only, with the space industry. However, rightly or wrongly, the branding that this industry has had in media has been not equatable with that level of technology. So there's an element of branding, for want of a better word, that needs to be done to attract more people into this industry. There are a lot of colleges now that offer petroleum degrees, University of Oklahoma, Texas A&M. The better, I guess, or equivalent preparation for this comes from initiatives that are done in high schools, where people that work in the industry present their careers on career days and so on and so forth, encouraging more people to join this, in my mind, extremely vibrant, high-tech, phenomenal industry to work in.
Sundy, thank you for sharing these wonderful thoughts, and most importantly, it's a great conference, a very successful one at that, so congratulations.
Thank you so very much, and it would be incorrect of me to take the congratulations as an individual. It's a phenomenal team of about 90 odd people that put this together. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.